Hello everybody, hope you're well. It's been a while since I recorded a video for YouTube, but I'm back and we are less than 2 weeks away from the launch of the book, The Darkling and the Wasp, my debut novel. So I thought what better opportunity than to showcase my new website. So if you head over to duncanwritesfiction.com, and I'll put a link in the description at the end of this video, you will find a plethora of information about me, about the book, and the characters, and a few other bits and bobs. So I thought, what better way to kind of showcase it as a vehicle and a platform from which I will be launching the book than to walk you through it now on here. The site itself was actually designed by a very talented guy called Matthew Brodger. I found him through reedsy.com, which is the kind of marketplace for writers and creatives in that space to go and sort of interact and buy services like editing, marketeers, cover design, all that kind of thing. So hugely influential site for me in getting the self-publishing stage to where it is now. So big shout out to that site and to Matthew, a very talented guy, helped me with everything from site hosting, domains, to the mailing list and the design and the layout. And all I kind of really had to do was answer his questions and give him some content, and he did the rest, you know. So thank you to him, and again I'll put a link to his profile in the description when I come to upload this video. So the front page of the site, just to sort of walk you through it. I really love the dark theme. I wanted to go for the dark theme, and some of the imagery around that helps tie in with the book. You'll find white moths everywhere because it is the White Moth series after all, and they are a prominent feature of the entire run of books, all 5 of them. From the homepage, you have an opportunity to join the newsletter, so please do avail yourself of that. I'm hoping to get a newsletter out once every month, I would say. Just if you're not already sick and tired of seeing adverts pop up on social media for the book, of which that will continue as long as I can afford to do it, the newsletter is a good way to just keep in touch. I will post news on how the book is doing, potential upcoming attendance at Comic-Cons, literary festivals, things like that. I'm not quite sure I've necessarily got the confidence to do any of that yet, but we'll see what happens next year. I might sort of start off slow and just drive around with a box of books in my car boot and sort of hand them to random people. So things like that will be included on the newsletter, but also ultimately come the new year, once this book is out and I've got 2 or 3 months under my belt and I'm seeing how it's performing, I want to start talking about book 2. The characters, the story, how things finish and carry on for finishing the last book and carry on for Fenn. I'm sure it's not too much of a spoiler that he doesn't die at the end of the first book, otherwise there wouldn't be much point in writing 5 of them. So I hope that's not too much of a spoiler, but yeah, I think it's pretty safe for me to say that he's still around for book 2. So I'll very much want to keep people up to date on that, and I think timescales wise, I'd like to think I can get a book out every 9 months. I would say I think that's probably reasonable given how long it takes. So this is ultimately the newsletter is a good way to keep apprised of that. So please do subscribe. Bit about me. I look unusually happy there, and I think it's because I was on holiday at the time, which explains why I'm smiling, of course. Anyone who works with me knows that that's not normally the face that greets them on a Monday morning in the office, but I digress. A little bit about me, my life growing up, and what motivated me to write. The book page itself, this will obviously grow as more books come out, so I'll be continually adding to this. For now, we've obviously got the debut novel, bit of a description of the book itself, and some additional information about the formats where you can find it and things like that. An excerpt from the book. This particular excerpt touches on Fenn's childhood, so there are a few chapters in the book that centre around his time growing up from when he was very, very young. I felt it was important to highlight that, to help explain his motivations as an adult. What about his experience as a child led to him behaving and thinking and feeling in a certain way as an adult, as it often does for so many people. Our childhoods help shape us, and ultimately a lot of what drives us comes from those early years, those formative years. So this excerpt is between him and his younger sister and their father, and that is something that will be sprinkled throughout certainly the first 4 books of the 5, leading up to the reason he left, and leading up to him actually betraying his father and leaving it all behind to step through the glimpse into the land of light, and then awaken surprised that he survived. So definitely have a read of that. That's a bit of lore, and to expand on the bit of lore, we also sort of have a world page, a universe page, and this is in particular the lands of the Western Peninsula, which is where the 5-book series is set. And it's just a bit of an intro to the land itself, the history behind the world I created, the fact that it's divided. You'll see a lot of the sun and the moon, the light and the dark throughout the books. Very much enjoy that interplay between those two opposing sides. The fact that they're so very, very different, but they kind of need each other for different reasons, and that sort of plays through a lot of the characters as well. So touches on that. The politics and the power is a big deal in the books as well. Some of the book takes place in the distant capital, many miles away from where Fen is, and that centres around plays for power, manipulation, trying to outdo each other as politicians often do, and ultimately the mysterious person that Fen hears about in the book and feels a connection to and doesn't quite understand why. So this is a crucial part of the story. And then finally some character bios, some excerpts from the book about Fen and Hesse, Eleanor, Taliesin, presumably none of whom mean anything to you because you haven't actually read it yet, but it will when and if you decide to buy and have a read. So yeah, just to whet people's appetites, I think, more than anything else, is what that page is about. And then finally, just the obvious stuff. Get in touch. Leave a comment in to this video. Get in touch with me on social media. You'll find me on anything kind of at Duncan Writes Fiction across most social media. And in Twitter, it's at Duncan Writes FCT, Fict, because that name had already been taken, so don't know who the other Duncan is who's writing fiction, but I should like to meet him sometime. Yeah, get in touch, drop me a message, any comments, any questions. You want to know a little bit more about the universe? Best way to do that is to sign up to the newsletter, where I'll be sort of dripping that out over the next few months. And other than that, look forward to the next 2 weeks. It's, in fact, the time of recording, it's 2 weeks today when the book will be launched. Yeah, pretty exciting for me, quite nerve-wracking. I will probably do another video on launch day, just to kind of give you my thoughts and crystallize where I'm at with it all. I'm going to take some time off that week to really devote to the publicising and advertising and the marketing of the book. I'm very much feeling my way through this first time. I'm sure it'll probably all go horribly wrong. That's fine. It will be a learning experience. It already has been a learning experience. I've spent a small fortune on advertising, and according to Facebook, I've reached over 350,000 people. And for some strange reason, none of them seem to have clicked on any of it, or at least my pre-orders for the book haven't gone up. So I don't think I'm doing it correctly somehow. So if anyone out there knows a lot about Facebook Ads Manager or Meta Business or anything like that and wants to offer some free advice, like don't tick this box or click on this button and make sure you do this one instead of this one, that would be great. As I say, it's all a learning curve, and book 2 will be much better. Next time will be different, as the saying goes. So I've prattled on for long enough. Thanks for your time, and I will see you in the next video.